For ACUsports.com, I'm Grant Boone as we talk a little Wildcat football here with the head coach, Ken Collums, and senior wide receiver from Mesquite, Taylor Gabriel. Well, Taylor, you had a quiet couple of first games of the season. You had a little bit of an injury to deal with, a little in-game injury in the first game, and then a couple of catches in game two. But then, wow, we saw Saturday what you can do. 9 catches, 160 yards, and 3 scores. Was that a game now where you're finally able to say, okay, I'm on, it's on now?
I mean, it felt good just finally getting in the end zone, basically. And it was, after that first touchdown, I would say it was a breath of fresh air. Yeah. So it felt good.
Well, I think some of the defenders for New Mexico Highlands felt a breath of fresh air as you went flying past them on the 75-yard touchdown. So you're never one to shy away from self-promotion a little bit. As you think about your 24 touchdowns, seriously, in your 24 career touchdowns at ACU, that's got to rank up there as one of the best, doesn't it? In terms of the 75-yarder, the move you put inside, then boom, back to the sideline?
I mean, they was a good team, and I'm happy that we got the win. So.
Yeah. He knows coaches right here. All right. Hey, seriously, when you look at the other team, and I think about Highlands last week, they had 3 guys who had played high D1, Arizona, UCLA, and Oklahoma State. When you look across the way and you know they've got good receivers, do you notice that, or doesn't even factor in?
I don't think it factors in. I'm just focused on going out there and being sharp and clean at what I'm doing, and I'm really just focused on us, ACU football, not really the other team and who they have.
All right, I was looking to Coach to see if he was grinning when you said it's all about the team. No. Let's talk about ACU football, because we've been playing 92 years of football here at ACU. You've been around for the last 4 of them, 3+. You're now a couple of touchdowns away from moving into the top 10 all time in terms of touchdowns scored. 26 touchdowns get you into the top 10 at ACU. You know some of those guys. You played with some of those guys who are in the top 10. Numbers, you can twist them around or do whatever you want to with them in some ways, but what would that mean to you if you could finish somewhere in that top 10?
I mean, just to be just with those guys like Clyde Gates and like Daryl Richardson and stuff like that, I mean, it will mean a lot to me, but it's not like my main focus of this year of playing football. So.
Yeah, you'll let the numbers take care of themselves at the end of the season. Last thing for you, a thought about your quarterback, John David Baker, just doing some number crunching earlier this week. He is tied for first place among any division of NCAA football. 1, 2, 3, FBS, FCS, 14 touchdowns. He's tied for first. That's a great number, but just from what you've seen catching passes from him, how would you grade John David's performance the first 3 games?
He's doing pretty good. He's a good quarterback. He's a leader, I would say that, and he's in control when he's on the field, and he's calm and poised. So that just makes everybody else be more confident in what he's got going on and what he's doing. So
not just the physical ability, in other words.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Coach, Taylor, all-conference receiver. He's had a couple of years ago, had one of the best seasons that an ACU receiver has ever had, almost 1,000 yards, 60-plus catches. His ability to run that's obvious. We know it can fly. He's one of the toughest receivers that I've seen since I've been at ACU. Just the quick bio, the quick scouting report on Taylor Gabriel.
Well, first of all, he doesn't look like much. I mean, he's a short guy. He's got a good smile, but that's about it. But when I look at Taylor Gabriel, I look at a guy who is upper-level talent. Mm-hmm. And we've had some talented guys come through here. Upper-level talent, works hard, knows his strengths, and will play to those strengths. He has got the ability to stop as good as anybody that we've had, and which we're not created to stop. We're just we're created to go forward. And a lot of times receivers, when somebody doesn't stop well, they can get covered. Or they'll be open, but it'll be a catch and a tackle instead of a catch and, hey, let's run and make yards now. So what Taylor can do, he can maneuver. He can maneuver against big people. Like, for example, the go ball we threw him last game. He's just going to come down with the ball. It was an absolutely great catch. I still think he might have been in.
Hip got in.
Yeah, well, I think his little toe did, but the officials saw it differently as usual. But he's got the ability to bend, to weave, to stop, to catch balls in traffic, and he's a tough guy. So, he's a little hard-headed at times, but aren't we all? But the guys, we're fortunate to have him. I kid around with him all the time, but you put him out on special teams, and the game may change immediately if they kick it to him, and that's pretty cool.
Sometimes you're not so crazy about that ability to stop and go backwards. I recall one play last week where you were explaining to him so gently the importance of getting that first down yardage.
Yes, I'm not quite sure who is your intelligence down there, but that's very accurate information.
Yeah, very gentle.
Yeah.
Was it gentle?
Yeah, it was very gentle.
Yeah.
Well, the fact is, I had to remind him, and some of the guys, there's a point where, as a receiver, you just catch the ball and go. Don't try to make the big play every single time. You're gonna create big plays with what God gave you, which is your twitch and your speed. But to catch the ball and go forward, make first downs, that's the key. And sometimes these guys, these big play type guys, need a little reminder of that, and that's cool.
You weren't crazy about it when it happened on that play. You were pretty fond of that ability to stop and change direction on the 75-yarder. All right, enough about that. Let's talk about something that is right in front of you here, and that's the Illinois State game. You've had basically a junior college in Concordia. You had a young D2 in McMurray. You had an established D2 in New Mexico Highlands. Now you get an FCS playoff team from last year. They've taken their lumps the first two games. They played a really good FBS Ball State team. They played their arch rival, Eastern Illinois, and their guy got them for 7 touchdowns. So they're hungry, and it's their home opener in a brand-new redesigned stadium. Plus, oh, by the way, they've got some pretty good players. It is a challenge this week, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Awesome opportunity. Yeah. We know this. We're about to go in and play in a crazy environment. That thing's going to be nuts. There's going to be people all over the place. It's their first home game of the year. It's already sold out. People are going to be harassing us left and right. It's going to be. We know we're going to have to be sharp, and that's not even talking about their players. Yeah. They've got some guys that can flat out play. And I was talking to their play-by-play guy yesterday, and he was trying to bait me into that. Well, they're 0-2 now. So I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I'm smart enough to know that these guys can play. Yeah. And they didn't look very good last week against their arch rivals, Eastern Illinois, and just didn't play well for whatever reason. It didn't work out for them. But we know this: we're going to have to go in and play clean, play a good game, play with a high level of passion, and if we can protect John David, move him around a little bit, get the ball to our playmakers, and hold them out of the end zone as much as we can, it should be a fun game.
Saturday night in Normal, Illinois against Illinois State. The kickoff is at 6 p.m. Lance Fleming and I will have the pregame show on radio and online at 5:30 p.m. For Taylor Gabriel and for Coach Ken Collums, I'm Grant Boone for ACUSports.com.